Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the second ever episode of the After Show podcast with Colstars with myself, Ieuan, Rhys, Benney. Now, for those of you who listened, watched, whatever, however you consumed that first episode, it was a first parter. That was part one of my chat with the lovely Megan Jones, and this episode 2, is the second part of that chat I had with the amazing Megan Jones. So this is just a message from me, really saying enjoy part 2, and I look forward to hearing off you guys. You know, again, get in touch with us via the social medias. They'll all be at the end, all the tags and stuff. But yeah, here is part 2 of my chat with the one and only Megan Jones.
Now, moving on, have you got any dream roles, you'd say?
Yeah. Paint me green, yeah. Paint me green and call me Alphabet.
We'll stick to the Wicked. I mean, to be fair, if it's your favourite song.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, you know what? And I think that's always been my dream role.
To be fair, for as long as I've known you, and I've known you in like a musical theatre sense, I've known you've loved Wicked, and like when we drive to uni, if we were listening to Sister Act, we'd probably either have Seasons of Love Rent on, and you'd always hit the high note. I'd be like sat in the passenger seat, like, oh damn, yes, Meg, you go, just clapping along. Or you'd have this, or and I'm telling you on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember
the one journey home from Cardiff. You just were playing me loads of different versions of songs from Wicked and from Dreamgirls, just like, oh, what do you think of this one compared to this one?
Yeah, I think that especially Alice Fern doing Alphabet. So me and James went to see her and Sophie's last performance in Wicked. And again, obviously, me and James are criers. So we cried and cried. But she did. So I think Alice Fern has something like 6 standing ovations within that one show. It was the most Broadway audience I've seen in the UK.
Yeah.
And so she did Wizard and I, this massive riff down at the end. Everyone screams. And then Defying Gravity obviously come on, and everyone's like, woo, like really excited, like clapping. And then you actually couldn't hear the end of Defying Gravity because the theatre was so loud.
Erupted.
But I was just like, imagine being green on your little stool, Defying Gravity. That's for me. That is for me.
There's moments like I miss about theatre as well over the last year, just the place erupting and that.
Yeah.
But also I miss the opposite, where there's no noise at all and everyone's just captivated.
You're all there for the same thing.
Yeah, I miss that so much. I remember me, Derek, and Damon went to see Warhorse.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one point just turning, and all 3 of us were on the edge of our seat, just like, and that's not even a musical, that's just a play. And
we went to see that. I don't know what year was I in school? Might have been like year 8. Oh my gosh, I came out of there blubbering.
Was it a school? It wasn't a day trip, it was a weekend trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, we went to see The Wizard of Oz as well.
Yeah, I feel like it was year 9, I think.
It could have been.
I
just remember sitting there and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It was in the theatre where School of Rock was, and it's now Cinderella.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't remember what it's called.
The National.
Yeah. It's in by Covent Garden, and I was just like, oh my god, this is such a small theatre.
It is.
And it was just amazing. 110% would see it again.
Yeah, and I think seeing it, because the National isn't small, but it's not big either. It's kind of a weird. I think because of the shape of it as well, the layout, it feels a bit different. But then seeing it in the Millennium Centre, which obviously is really tall, is massive. Yeah. Such a different experience. And I was really close for both times. I think when I saw it with school, because I went on a day trip, I remember it was me, Dion, and David Jones. We were the 3 for the day. And we were sat on the right-hand side. And then when I saw it with Derek and Damon in the Millennium Centre, I was on the left-hand side. We were only like 3 rows back.
Yeah.
So to have that full perspective and being really close to see the little details is just incredible. That's a show I'd love to do, to be fair, Warhorse.
Yeah. Yeah,
not
it's
musical,
really,
but
different.
again, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Be quite physical as well. I think it'd be one you'd have to like push yourself physically to do as well.
100%, yeah.
Any other roles you pipe, as a dream one?
I mean, Effie White. That is
again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Elsa.
again, not a lot to be said, is it really?
No. Jenna from Waitress. I feel like she's fun. Like,
yeah,
you can't really read Jenna that much. She's quite a closed book.
I think that's what's quite fun about doing a part like that as well, because she does go through a bit doing the show. Like, it's one of those parts you want to play as a performer as well, not just because it's the main part, but it is a good part as well.
And also Elle Woods.
Oh,
bit of Legally Blonde in there.
Yeah, different one though.
I just think that she's so misjudged, as we know, it's part of the show. Yeah. But I feel like she's just a misjudged person, and like, I just love the fact she proves everyone wrong.
Yeah,
she's like, you think I'm a little blonde, ditzy girl from LA? When no, I'm going to be a lawyer and I'm going to win.
Yeah. That's not a show I know a lot about, to be fair. I think it's definitely one I need to listen to more often.
That's so good.
I think, especially as a male, it's kind of like, I listen to musical theatre like crazy. Is again, like some shows like Legally Blonde, I'm like, no, I must keep intact some sort of masculinity that I can. So, like, what are you listening to? Legally Blonde.
Yeah, Legally Blonde.
But no, it's definitely one I need to listen to more, I think. Just as a thing of, listening to the show for the sake of listening to it and knowing more about the show. Because, like, I love to study, I'm doing my MA, so studying theatre is what I do. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's, to be fair, they're all good parts I could see you doing as well. Like,
I see me green. Thank you.
I've heard you sing them so many times. I don't think it's hard for me to picture you doing them now.
Fine, Gravity, here I come.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that for Halloween this year. Just paint myself green.
I think Halloween costumes. I'm thinking this year either Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestler, because he's bald, or what's his name from Breaking Bad? Walter White.
Say my name, Walter White.
Walter White.
Yeah.
Heisenberg, just because of the balding head.
Yeah.
But now, have you got any favourite shows you've seen? Obviously, I'm assuming Wicked is in there.
Yeah, of course it's gonna be. Dreamgirls is in there.
Dreamgirls is in there.
But I'd say Dear Evan Hansen is my favourite. Well, no, okay, so Wicked is my favourite, but we know that. So Dear Evan Hansen is the favourite show I've seen recently. Because of just the way it's done, like, it's also techy, and like you can see the orchestra they've got at the back. And
it's quite similar to the everyone's talking about Jamie, isn't it? The way they do with the orchestra, the way you can see them.
Yeah. No, I think that it's really different the way they've done it. Like, they kind of just use two sides of the stage and then work in between. And really when they do all like the social media stuff, it's done on like singular cloths. And it's really clever.
It is.
And when
the
you
simplicity
go in,
is what I love.
Yeah, and it's like, it brings kind of like when we did like our school shows back in, where it doesn't start with a cloth over the stage and it lifts. It doesn't start like that. Like, it starts, you've got your boards, you've got your social media things going on, like there's texts coming up, and like there's like, it's just really different. And then when Evan comes on, he just walks on the stage and sits on the bed. And I think
I love that.
It kind of changes the way theatre is, as you know, again. Like, that's what Miss Staples when we were in school enjoyed doing, didn't she? Like, in half time and stuff, and before we'd start, the people just be walking on and off the stage and doing little bits. And I think that is like another good thing that Dear Evan Hansen does. It just breaks the boundaries again.
Yeah, it's definitely one. Like, I know a lot of people have got an opinion on theatre, whether shows now are better or shows from before are better. Or, there's a big debate on that. And I think it's definitely one I think we could have an entire podcast about.
Yeah.
But I think there's certain shows, no matter what era they're from, they are just above everything else. I think they almost fall out of that argument of being like
definitely.
this or that. Like, and Dear Evan Hansen, I think is. I think the mainstream success it had, everything like that, there's something so special about that show.
Yeah.
Like, I think that show and Hamilton drove a lot of new eyes to theatre.
Yeah, it did.
So, I think there's a lot of credit to be given to those two shows, to be fair.
Yeah.
Any others?
Obviously Wicked. Book of Mormon was a really fun one.
Really funny show, yeah.
Yeah, really different. And then obviously Dreamgirls. Les Mis the concert.
Which concert version?
So it was the one they've just done.
Right.
And it had Alfie Bow, Jonathan Jones, Michael Ball, Kai Hope Fletcher, Matt Lucas. Amazing cast.
Yeah.
And they were obviously all in costume and stuff. But I think that I sometimes, when I watch Les Mis, the show kind of get lost in the set a little bit. And because it's so dark, like, you've got to really concentrate. Whereas when it was in the concert version, you could just kind of almost switch off and just listen to it.
Wow.
Because there was nothing going on stage. But obviously there was. But like, you haven't got to watch. You haven't, like, you're not concentrating on this area. They're like, oh, I got to go over there now. You're just watching the singers. And that, to me, was amazing. Really. And it was really clever the way they did it. And when I went to see it, the little boy who played Gavroche, he forgot his lines.
Oh, bless.
I know. And if obviously that concert sells out within minutes when you get your tickets. So I was really lucky to get them. So obviously it was a sold out theatre. And he forgot his words to Little People. So obviously it's his only song. And then I went to see him and Jonathan Jones did it. Because him and Alfie Bow were swapped. And him and Matt Lucas kind of like rushed up to help him. Then all the chorus, so all the chorus would sit behind the cast and just come down when they needed to. And they all just started to sing for him. And then he kind of got back into it. And then he went and sat on his seat. And then everyone was coming up to him. They didn't care that they were in front of a live audience. Yeah. Like, Matt Lucas was sat by him talking to him. Jonathan Jones knelt by the side of him to talk to him. Like, and when he came back on then, my heart was in my mouth thinking, oh my gosh, is he going to forget his words again? And he bossed it. He was like, I didn't just forget my words. What are you talking about? But it was so nice to, like, see they cared about him so much. And, like, being a kid, he probably wasn't on that much because they're not, are they, when they're kids? They probably do 4 shows a week. And because it's the concert, like, I think they only had 2 week stints, those kids. So he had a lot to prove within the time that he was on the stage.
Yeah.
And it was lovely to see him look after him like that. Like, and it was just like, oh, look at that. Yeah, it was good. Really, really good.
I think it's things like that as well, why I miss doing shows. Like, when you make a mistake, I think at first, especially when you're older, it's that, you made a mistake, stupid you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then later on, people are like, oh, yeah, it's fine. You'll do it fine next time. It's something. I think there's a lot of time when you make a mistake, it makes you more determined to absolutely smash everything else, because not only do you want to prove a point to, like, the audience and stuff, but I think it's like a proving a point to yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, to do that at that age must be so hard, especially at that standard as well, on the West End.
And that's the thing, like, this Les Mis concert is so highly spoken about, and those tickets literally they're like hotcakes. They just don't, you can't get them. Wow. And it's like, so I bought them again to go to see it last December, and obviously couldn't. But my mother got them somehow straight away. I don't know how she did it. Whereas I was in the queue for 6 hours trying to wait for these tickets. Wow. And when I got, this was priority, mate. And when I got there, they'd gone. And like Ellis, I know that Ellis Slight, he didn't get the tickets, and he tried for 2 days. I don't know how. It was a complete fluke when I got those tickets. I don't know how she did it.
Just pressed at the right time, like the button at the right time.
Yeah, but I was on there from like 20 past 11, obviously refreshed, and I was still 12 o'clock. She went on there 10 to 12. And she was just like, and she texted me like 5 past. She was like, got the tickets. And I was like, what? How? But I stayed on there with curiosity to see how long it took. It took 6 hours.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another really good one.
Any more shows that you'd say are like standout favourites that you've seen?
Shrek.
Oh, see, that show's got a special place in my heart. I love it so much. I love the films.
Yeah.
And I love the music. Like, the soundtrack's incredible. I saw it in London, and I saw it in the new theatre.
Yeah,
with Derek, and
I saw it in London for my 13th birthday, I think, and then I saw it when it came to Cardiff in the Millennium, maybe 4 years ago.
think it was about 4 years ago now, yeah.
Yeah. And Lord Farquhar for me makes it. Because the way they do his costume is hilarious.
Yeah. I'd love to do that part, but I think because I'm quite tall, even if I was on my knees, I'd be taller than most people.
Yeah, you probably match my height, let's be fair.
Yeah. I'd have to literally be on like my waist. I'd have to just be like a yoga exercise or something. But,
yeah,
like,
no, I think it's really good.
I think what's good about that show as well is people think of it like it's just a fun show, but there are some songs in there like Who I'd Be. When you think of the lyrics to that song, it's such a good just musical theatre song in general.
Yeah, and it's really, really good for kind of chorus work.
Big time.
So obviously all of the chorus are named really.
Yeah.
And they're all the creatures of like the woodlands and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think that for especially like a local theatre company, where sometimes not everyone gets a part, everyone is going to feel so involved because everyone's got a name.
Yeah, yeah. I think it gives you a distinct character as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you always have your own character in mind when you're in the chorus, how to be yourself. But I think when you're a named character in the chorus is, especially with it being Shrek as well. They're kind of like the fairy tale characters.
Yeah,
so you know what the character is as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'd love to do that show. I think that's one I'd love to do.
Yeah, me. I would love to.
Yeah. Pinocchio as well. Such a good part.
I really like the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yes.
She also plays the gingerbread as well.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so cool.
It is.
She's a sassy little queen.
And
then she gets to play a little gingerbread. Like, how cool is that?
I love that show. I want to see it's on Netflix as well now, isn't it?
Yeah, they come on the 1st of April. I haven't watched it yet, but I go back to work on Monday. So I've downloaded it ready on my iPad, and then between clients, I'm going to put it on.
Put it on. I started watching it the other night after I'd done some uni work and reading, but I was like, oh, yeah, go on, it's about 12:30. You need to go to bed. You can't be watching Shrek at this time. Because there's a show that just hypes me up. It gets me going so much. There's so many good, like, uplifting songs.
Yeah.
So, but, any others, or would you say that's about it really for favourite shows you've seen?
No, I think that'd have to be it, you know.
Yeah, I think it's one of those questions that you always think you enjoy your show, but to have like standouts is a different thing again. Then, isn't it?
I did like Kinky Boots. That was really fun. The thing is, like, I've seen quite a few shows in the West. Like, I'm really, really, really lucky.
Yeah.
And me and my mother the other day were listing shows that I've seen. So, like, out of curiosity, I would just like to know how many I've actually seen, because I've never actually, I don't really count it. And I was trying to count them, and my mum was like, you forgot this, you forgot that, you forgot about this one, you forgot about that one. Yeah. And I was like, I can't retain, like, so you could be like, oh, you know, what's one? Come From Away. I always forget I've seen Come From Away, right?
Yeah.
And then when I think about it, I'm like, that's a sick show. That is so good. Like, the music, the like storyline. And I didn't realise it was a one-act show. And I did a couple of wines before me and James went in. I said to him, I was like, I'm going to buy a large wine when we started it. And it got to like where halftime would be. It felt right. I was like, right, get my, and like, so it was in the theatre where once was, is the Phoenix.
Yeah.
And you are literally like your knees are by your chest. And it was so warm. Even though it was December, it was boiling. So I was sweating. Like my knees were in my chest. I was so tired because we'd done a two-show day. So I was just so tired, so warm. Yeah. And I was like, I need to go to the toilet. But we were in the middle. So I was like, I can't get out. It's so small. So like towards the end, I was like, right, come on. Let's build. Come on. I need to go to the toilet. Let's go. Let's go. But I think it's turned out to something like 80 minutes for the whole thing, which isn't that long. Like,
no, it's not, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a short film, innit? But the music in that, and we saw Rachel, what's her last name?
I know you're all about her.
I've forgotten her last name. She's really famous. She did Wicked as well.
Yeah, I know you're all about listening about you.
So we saw her and everything, and it was really good. And then in the end, which I really, really liked, was they had the buckets when you were going out for the 9/11 relief fund. So obviously Camp from Motorgate is about 9/11.
9/11, yeah.
So yeah, that's again another really good one.
Right. Now, moving away from shows in general to musical theatre stars. Any favourite musical theatre like actors, actresses?
Jeremy Jordan, 100%.
Yeah, I couldn't argue.
He is just outstanding.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, he's been in what? Rock of Ages, Heathers, Bonnie and Clyde, Newsies.
Yeah, that's on Netflix, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. That is incredible. Santa Fe, him singing Santa Fe is
unreal, man.
Seize the Day as well. I do like Seize the Day from that show. He's been in Finding Neverland.
Yes.
He has been in that, which we like.
He was in Supergirl, which was a TV program.
Yeah. Waitress.
Yeah.
The Waitress. Little Shop. It's been Little Shop as well. And have you seen the clip on YouTube about the day he saved The Greatest Showman as well?
I was going to say about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't realise until the other day. Have you seen his video? He does a video of him explaining his whole The Greatest Showman kind of journey.
Yeah, is it the one in like quite a small bar club thing, doing like a set? Yeah. It's incredible.
So I didn't
if
realise
anyone
how,
hasn't watched that,
I
think it's one you need to watch. I think it shows like a lot as well about how musical theatre stars are kind of mistreated in like Hollywood and stuff as well.
100%, because like as much as Zac Efron is Zac Efron,
and he was good. He was good in the film, to be fair.
Like Jeremy Jordan is just outstanding.
Yeah.
And I think that he is like, I don't know, I just think that he's kind of like looked over.
Yes.
Because he's not as well known. But how do people get as well known without having the opportunities that like if he was in The Greatest Showman is it Philip, is that his name?
Philip, yeah.
As Zac Efron then. Yeah. If he had the opportunity to do that, his career would have skyrocketed even more than it already has.
Yeah.
So like where does his break? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And if he saved the way he did The Greatest Showman, if he did that so well, why go elsewhere looking for it?
Yeah.
That's what I don't get.
I think if he hadn't saved the show, but like you said, he paid for his own flight to go to the redo thing. The fact, like, this so
he lost his voice, like,
I think it's one. I think it's one that even if we try and speak about it, I don't think we'll do it justice as well. I think it's one that you just need to go and listen. It's like what, 10 minutes long? No, longer. It might be longer. I don't know. It might be shorter.
But I just think that to put so much effort into something and to have like years of, you know, doing these different read-throughs and singing the songs and doing the demos, and then on the day that you've had to do all of Hugh Jackman's songs, and to pitch this film to this, you know, to the film company that was going to produce it, like, how was he then just thrown to the curb and like, thanks for what you've done, but you're not in it.
Again, he saved the show. Do you know what I mean? If he wasn't there, like,
would the film even have been a film? Because that was when they were pitching it to everyone.
Yeah.
And if they were like, oh look, we haven't got no one to sing it, they could have been like, right, okay, slot's gone, off we go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It is kind of funny clip, man, as he's speaking about Hugh Jackman with his, you can see it where he's saying about him about to start singing, and he just keeps turning his head like, you know.
Are you sure?
Yeah. But no, I definitely say go and watch that. If you just YouTube search something like Jeremy Jordan, The Day I Saved The Greatest Showman, or something like that, it'll show up, and I think it's one you need to give a listen to, really.
Yeah.
Any others?
Luke Evans, stars? Always. Luke Evans is my heart. Yeah. Jonathan Groff.
Jonathan Groff's incredible.
He's very diverse.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
In Hamilton.
To go from playing Sven in Frozen to King George in the third Hamilton. In Hamilton, like, that's such a big jump.
It is. Yeah.
And they're completely different, but I think that he's really good.
Spring Awakening as well, because he was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's a
when you look
very
at
different show.
when you look at Spring Awakening compared to Frozen.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jump.
Yeah, a bit of a change of scenery there. I think he's underrated as well. To be fair,
Oh,
I think he's celebrated, but not as celebrated as what he should be. I think.
And he was in something called Mindhunters.
Yes.
On Netflix, which again, if no one's seen, go and watch. Very good.
Give it a browse.
But like that shows again a completely different side of him, which is not Frozen, and it's not Hamilton.
Yeah.
And it's not singing. It's nothing to do with musical theatre.
Yeah.
And like he's so diverse in what he does. Yeah. And like I agree. I don't think he's shown off enough.
No.
Like he should be.
Any others, would you say? Any other standouts? Or?
Now, Kristen Bell, I feel like she's just like, she's so good.
Yeah,
and again,
I can agree with that one.
Like in her voice, I didn't realize she could sing like that before Frozen. And like the program, she's in A Good Place. I think that's what it's called.
Pretty sure, yeah.
And she's done a lot of obviously TV and stuff, and she was in Encore on Disney Plus and stuff like that.
Really enjoyed that.
I think that she's really good. And also there's one more now, I can't really say his name. His name's Luca.
Luca Padovan, is it?
Padovan.
I know it's Padovan, isn't it?
Yeah. He's very young. Well, I don't know if he is that young anymore. But I went down a loophole on YouTube last summer, and he is, for a child, probably not a child anymore, outstanding.
Yeah.
There's something that he does the gender flip of not satisfied, Skylar Sisters.
I know you're on about. Yeah,
and
I've seen it now.
Kids, and they come on in their little so good. And like he also really did do you know when Les Mis? And it's a song between Gervais and Jean Valjean, and it's the whippy one. I can't think of it. Is it the soliloquy?
I don't think. Well, right to the beginning, or
no. It's once. So it's when Jean Valjean's older.
I know what you mean. I can't think of the.
And Fantine is lying in the bed. It's just after she died, actually.
I know all you're on about. Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
It's the fight scene basically between them, and he does it. He plays Jean Valjean with a grown man.
Wow.
And oh my gosh, his singing! You'll have to watch that when we finish this, because his singing is amazing.
Yeah.
He does like this massive riff, and like he takes it up, and like it's just so good. And like you're watching it thinking, you're like 12, yeah?
Dude, this shouldn't be allowed. This shouldn't make sense. No,
like you were out singing a grown man.
Yeah.
How is that okay? But yeah, and he's my last favourite.
Your wild card.
Yeah, and I think he is a bit of a wild card. Like people don't really know him, and I didn't know him until I went down my loophole.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, what a good singer. I think he did Into the Woods.
Yeah.
I think that's where I kind of started my loophole.
Found him.
And then I went down. And I went down this rabbit hole that it just kept spiraling.
Ended up going somewhere. Press next, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Now, next question is a bit of a different one, actually. So, obviously you've said about like all your favourites, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Now, what would you say is your unpopular opinion on musical theatre?
I feel like people are going to be like, what? Are you serious? I just think that, I feel quite bad for saying it. She's not going to listen, is she? I think that Idina Menzel is quite overrated.
Oh, no, that's quite interesting, though, considering your love for Wicked as well.
Well, yeah, my love for Wicked and my love for Frozen.
Yeah, because she plays Elsa, doesn't she, in the film?
Yeah. I just think that when she's recorded, like those things, like the cast recording, great. Frozen, fabulous. But when she sings live,
just missing that.
I just watch Let It Go at the Oscars, and I feel like that just speaks for me. She's still
do you
great.
think as
Like,
well,
she is really,
I was gonna
really
say,
good.
yeah. Do you think it's like subject almost because you're comparing it to the other people that are sung it?
Yeah, and I think
Like,
that
if you put her next to Tom, an average Joe, like,
I think it's her name as well. Like, her name has obviously gone in places, and
yeah,
she's really good. Like she is really good. There's
Yeah.
no two ways about it. But I think when she did Wicked, and she did it, obviously, like, pushed it all the time, she had to give a lot, which meant that I think it's now affected her and her voice more.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're almost there, honey. Like, reach over that. But
yeah.
like I said, I think she's still really good. I'm not
She
taking
is,
away
to be
from
fair.
that. But I think that it's like, oh my god, Demons are so good. Like, is she though? There's better out there.
Yeah, I think it's that thing of she's not a 10, but we're not saying she's a 5 or a 4 either. It's just not.
No, yeah.
But she's not a 10 either. Like, some people might put her as a 10.
I think that, like, they could have given the role of Elsa to someone else that maybe isn't as famous. Again, with the Jeremy Jordan thing, like,
yeah.
Give it to someone who doesn't need the help. Or no, like, needs the help rather than doesn't need the help. That's what I meant about it. Like, she's sick. We all know she's so good. But then giving her Frozen, also, like, she haven't just got Elphaba now, she's also got Elsa.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what she's known as. Like,
I think
kids
if anything now,
Elsa.
she gets carted out now more as Elsa than Elphaba. That's become her thing. Of it,
I just think that, like, there was a lot of other very capable people that probably could have been asked or could have, like, auditioned or whatever. I don't know what they do for those things. That didn't get it because she got it. But she's still good, so I'm not gonna diss her.
But use the right word here. You said overrated. You didn't say she's not good. You just said that she's overrated. So, you were clever. You were clever there.
Stay for back.
Well, that's your unpopular opinion. Idina Menzel, overrated.
Yeah.
Have you in If Then? If/Then?
There's a really good song. I'm not gonna say it, just because there's a swear word in there. It's called What the Connect the Dots. Dot the I's.
Insert.
Yeah, but that's a very good song.
That's a show that isn't well known either, is it? It's one that you could drop into a conversation, and a lot of people would be like, If then, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good. She sang that at the Tonys, actually.
Yes.
And I will say, when I listened to that, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
You didn't bum a note there. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely say go give that a listen as well if you haven't before.
Yeah.
Now, next up, I've actually got a segment that's more on my side of things. It's a bit of a Colstars. Got a bit of a Colstars history trip down memory lane. Obviously, this is a Colstars podcast. I will say that it's Colstars, not Colstars. Colstars.
Colstars. Coliseum Stars.
Coliseum Stars. So we thought, we'd try and get some Colstars history into the podcast with it being Colstars. So what we thought we'd do every show is some sort of a this year in Colstars history.
I like that.
So when I was planning the show, I'd done like a random year generator. And then whatever year it landed on, I had to look at the shows we done that year. And I got given 1990. So, not too far back. It's 9 years before we were born.
Okay, yeah, make me feel young.
But there was 3 shows that year. There were 3 shows. It was, let me have a look, Cinderella. They done Cinderella. They done The King and I, which was actually my first Colstars show. And not that version though. Like
no,
the 2013
I like
version.
The
And South Pacific.
Okay.
So the Cinderella, ready for this, was performed from Monday 19th of February. February to the 24th of February. 5 days. 19th, 20th, 21st, 24th. Like 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. 5 days, yeah. I can't believe I had to count for that.
To be fair, when I first started doing pantos, my first panto would have been 2008.
Yeah.
And it was Dick Whittington.
Yeah.
And we did the Monday to Saturday.
Wow.
I know. But because there were so many kids, we had to split us. So we did 4 shows each. So I did 2 years with 4 shows each. And then it must have been 2011. Yeah. No, 2010 was my first panto that I did Monday to Saturday. So that would have been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 8 shows altogether for 2 matinees.
Man,
so it was a lot.
That's crazy. It was 6-show day. Colstars was actually known as Coliseum Operatic Society at the time. Obviously, we've gone through a few name changes over the years. Yeah. It was produced by Tony Griffiths, not Derek. Musical director was Ieuan Harris. I love that name.
Yeah.
It's proper Welsh name, Ieuan. And choreographer was Norma Wellsfield. So, none of them are directing, producing, musically directing in the shows. And so it's, good to see different names. Prince Charming was played by Dominic Roche. Pretty sure I've said that right. Cinderella was played by Mandy Davis. The Ugly Sisters were played by Myra Wilkinson and Roderick P. Davis. Another name I love.
Another good name.
It's the R's. R's. And Buttons was played by Julian Lennon. I was speaking to Derek the other day about Julian because I know Julian Lennon, and I was like, is it the same person? And then Derek said, he's from Merthyr and he has ginger hair, or he said he has red hair. And I was like, that's the one I know Julian from Merthyr with red hair. I don't think there's many Julian Lennons from Merthyr with red hair. So turns out it was the same. And he was in Wizard of Gurnwa when I done in the Colosseum.
Oh, yeah.
He was in that, yeah. So I know him through my Gurnwa stuff.
Yeah.
Derek himself played Baron Stonybroke. Darren Rogers played Demon Blackheart. Just for you, Meg, Dan Deeney was played by Darren Shelton. There were other cast members, but we could be here all night speaking about cast members and chorus members. Oh, I'm not forgetting, the donkey was loaned by the pony. The pony was loaned by Mr. P. Williams. I'd love to have a pony on stage. Not a dog. Yeah. Dogs are nightmares to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Dogs and kids. Going off the review that Derek sent me, I think it's from the kind of eye leader. Seemed great. And apparently they had a great Ghostbuster dance in the show. So fun. I think Derek will have to teach us that next time we see him. Second show that year was The King and I by, obviously, Rodgers and Hammerstein. Ran from Monday, 23rd of April to the 28th. So again, a musical with 5 days. David G. Davis played the King. Anna was played by Carl Owen.
Nice.
Bless. I haven't seen Carl in ages now. Derek played the Kralahome. Who else? Lunthar was played by Mike Holland. Lunthar was played by KP last time.
Yeah, KP, yeah.
KP last time. Louis, Anna's son, was played by David Crowley, which was played by Rhys Britton.
Yeah.
Babyface Rhys. Prince Chulalonghorn was played by Simon Jones. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
That was played. Who played Ives?
Ieuan,
wasn't it? After Tom done his shoulder, a week or two before the show.
Yeah.
Ieuan saved us there. And Catherine Jones played Lady Tiang, which I believe was Tanya.
Tanya, yeah.
Tanya, yeah, I remember that. And you ready for this? There were 39 ladies in the show, and there were 13 men, so 52 people in total.
Must have had an extension on that stage.
I'm pretty sure there's shows from before that, there were even more people. And to think of that, that's
wow. And it'll be fun. We have 10 who were like, okay, space, give me space.
Guys, spread out, guys. And the last show of the year was South Pacific, which ran from the 12th to the 17th. With this one, I'm not going to read about the cast and stuff. I'm going to read something that was in the review of the show in the paper by Ray Whitehead. I'm believing it was a kind of eye leader. He said, within the 4 walls of the almost totally refurbished theatre, to be in the Coliseum Theatre the other day, the spirit of this touching World War II love story touched many hearts. I would say there would have been those who shed a tear at more than one point in the performance. And then he later went on to say, a show that was a credit to everyone involved, from the scene shifters to the stars. Thanks for a magical evening. And for me, it was just that thanks for a magical evening.
I'm gonna cry.
As we've mentioned all night, having a break from theatre and stuff. The idea of having that magical evening in a theatre again is just, there's a money can't buy experience at the moment. Walking in at the start of the show, you're in the orchestra, tuned up and all that, and the curtain lifting, the curtain closing at the end. the noise of an auditorium is just. Yeah, what do you miss most about theatres actually being closed? I don't think it's been actual.
Honestly, I think it's being on the stage rather than watching. Because I think that you can kind of, it's nowhere near the same, but you can kind of watch you can watch Hamilton, you can watch Shrek, you can go on these streaming things and kind of watch musicals. You can't, it's not the same feeling.
No.
But you can watch it. Whereas I think that singing, doing songs on Zoom, singing by yourself in your room, staring at a blank wall, you get nothing. And then the video comes out, you're like, oh my God, she's amazing. You watch the video back a couple of times, but that's all you can get. And I think that being on the stage and knowing that it sounds so cringe, but the audience being the palm of your hand. Yeah. And you just know the first show back, there's going to be so many tears on and off stage. People who are watching it are going to be like, oh my gosh, life is getting back to normal again, crying, listening to really good songs. We're all going to be in bits. We're back on stage again. I cannot imagine that feeling ever again. And I think that do you know sometimes because we've been in Colstars for so long, it's a hobby, but it's a love as well. So but then sometimes you're I kind of really I've had a really long day, I can't bother to go rehearsals, I'm gonna go anyway, but I'm really tired. Whereas now I think that I will never feel that ever again. No. I get excited to go to Zoom to sing by myself, let alone to actually be in a room of people, not even doing a show, but to be in a rehearsal room.
Just to be in a room with people, to be fair,
to just sing with people. And I think that it's been so hard on the kind of music and drama I can't think of the word. Profession. Industry? The profession. And knowing that we are so disposable to people. They don't care. They don't care that this is beneficial to not only our mental health, but to people watching it. People go to theatre for an escape and to feel normal and to feel part of something. And those people who did that before haven't got that now. No. And COVID affects obviously a lot of people's mental health in many different ways. But I think that, the people in the industry being so disposable and having to go and find a job in Tesco's because they can't do their job. I think it's just the thought of being back on that stage for everyone, and the orchestra to be back in the pit and doing warm-ups before you go on the show, and the feel when you go in in the Coliseum downstairs in dressing rooms, there's a feeling when you walk in. You can feel the buzz, heat of the light bulbs, and you can smell the makeup, and you can hear if we come in and there's music going on in the back dressing room for people dressed warming up, and it's just that. I miss it. Yeah. I miss it.
Again, I think going off what you've said, I remember I was on a Zoom webinar thing, and I asked a question about how they think that this has kind of been a good thing for theatre at the same time as it's been a bad thing, because I think it's going to give such a new level of appreciation.
Oh yeah.
Theatre. People are going to appreciate everything so much more. There's just going to be fingers crossed. Anyway, I'd like to say that when theatre can open back up, there's going to be droves of people going to see shows, supporting not only West End productions, but amateur companies like ourselves, every other company across the country.
I think when we open back up, and I'm going to say when, because it's going to happen. I think that people are going to take any theatre they can get. Yeah. And I think that people also have realised or not realised that the arts are in your everyday life. You go for, you read the newspaper, or you listen to the radio, or you watch your favourite TV drama. Without the arts, you would have none of that. Your life would be so boring. And to be told to retrain, fine, everyone can retrain, but you won't watch your favourite Netflix series ever again. Yeah. Or you won't be able to listen to your favourite music on a radio show ever again, because everyone's retrained. Therefore, those things won't happen.
There's nobody there anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that people have used to help themselves throughout the last year have come from the arts.
Yeah.
But there's been no support to the arts at
like,
the same time, yeah.
There's so, like, the arts is so disposable, yet so needed in everyday life.
Yeah. Like you see, I remember having somewhat of a debate on Facebook months ago now, and they were like, oh, but they should bring football back before theatres. Football does this because of BT Sports, Sky Sports, the economy. I'm like, yeah, fella, you can't watch your football without a cameraman.
Yeah.
A cameraman.
And what are they doing?
Yeah, what are they doing?
Those kits, honey. Like it's just, there's so many, like, and I understand that, like, I don't understand football. Like, so I would be kind of naive to think that, but why do they need football? Like, you know, I know it's like, we've all got our own opinions, we've all got our own loves, but I think that people, I've realised recently, especially because of COVID, that your everyday life revolves around some sort of art.
Art, it does, yeah.
Like my day job, like makeup. That's art.
Yeah. But even cake making, there's an art to that, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you doing, you know what I mean? Like, that's the arts. And without people like you doing the arts and stuff like that, we wouldn't have these things to like watch and to release, like, you know, to sit down and be like, oh, I'm just going to check a film and relax.
Yeah. You
can't do that without the arts. So I think that, you know, it's allowed people to realise that we need it.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Now, talk about something we love. There's something I know that we both love, actually, but something that's probably lesser known. This is the hidden gem segment. So basically, the plan/intention for this is to kind of find a musical that is lesser known. Like maybe some of us know it, but it's, you know, not your Les Mis, your Phantoms, your, you know, the bigger ones.
Yeah.
So this week, I've gone with Finding Neverland, just because I know it's one. We spoke about it last week briefly, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, knowing you were coming on, I was like, you know what? Let's go to Finding Neverland. So music and lyrics by Gary Barlow, Elliot Kennedy.
The boy.
The man himself. Adapted from a 1998 play, The Man Who Was Peter Pan, and obviously then the 2004 film, Finding Neverland, which starred Johnny Depp, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Premiered in Leicester in 2012, then Cambridge in Massachusetts. I can never say that word. 2014, then Broadway in 2015. I think had a 17-month run.
Yeah.
16, 17, and then had a US tour. And J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan, is actually like the main character. So I think it's got a clever play there as well. J.M. Barrie has been played by Julian Ovenden, I think it said. Jeremy Jordan again. Matthew Morrison, who played Mr. Schuster, is that Schuster? Yeah. In Glee.
In Glee, yeah.
Yeah. What do you know about the show? Because I know it's one that you've listened to.
Yeah, so I don't know obviously I haven't seen it. Yeah. So I don't know huge amounts about it. But I was meant to see it. But I say meant to see it. I went to New York in 2015, I think, or was it 16? And I had the choice out of Book of Mormon, Wicked, and Finding Neverland. At the time, I was like, I know I've seen Finding Neverland. What's that?
Yeah.
And now listening back at the music, and I wish I saw it. And Kelsey Grammer, is that his name? I think it is Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
He plays Fraser in Frasier. And he is outstanding in it. I didn't know he could sing. And then I listened to the soundtrack. I was like, wow. But there's a song in there called Something About This Night, which is, to me, the first song back that any theatre company should do after COVID, because the words kind of speak to not being on stage for a while, and like, it's called Something About This Night, and there will be something about the first night that you're back. And it says like the tensions are running high, and like it's just that the way that the words are, I think that it speaks to that. But I don't know a huge amount about the show itself, as I haven't seen it. I just listen to the music. But
I think I could easily sit here, I think, and say exactly what the show is about and read like a synopsis and stuff. But if anything, I think by doing that, it almost takes away from the experience of just listening to it. I think is one that people do just need to go and listen to first, and then maybe read the synopsis, because I think and then listen to it again, knowing the story, because it's such a nice story about like again like that inner child and yeah, again obviously because it's to do with Peter Pan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's got links, so you know it's got that like link to that. So it's just so nice. It's so
it's really good.
nice, and there's some really nice songs in there as well. The World Turned Upside Down, Believe, All That Matters, Neverland, What You Mean to Me, Play, When Your Feet Don't Touch the Ground. That's quite a nice one. But yeah, that's our hidden segment, Finding Neverland. Go give that a listen, read the synopsis, do a little bit of reading. There's also a video of it on YouTube that you can watch the show. I shouldn't probably say that, but you can watch it. One I've also wanted to mention is a Welsh musical. It's the song's called Switch It Off. It's like switching off. It's on YouTube. It's from a verbatim musical called Nurses, written by a great playwright, Bethan Marlowe. I had the chance to have an interview with her Monday night actually for a uni assessment. And the show is a verbatim musical about nurses on a cancer ward.
Nice.
Well,
not
switch
nice,
it off. Yeah. And just about switching off from their job and listening to it now, again, as we mentioned, with the last year in mind.
Yeah.
Like I think that thing about nurses working so hard and going home and switching off and stuff is just...
Yeah.
I listened to it loads over the weekend. And even though it's in Welsh, there are subtitles by the side as well, so you can listen to it and still read what's going on. So, yeah, give that a listen. Switch It Off. It's on the Theatre Again YouTube page, which is the Welsh language National Theatre Company. It's not National Theatre Wales, they're two different, but that's what Theatre Again means.
And now for a word from the sponsor of today's podcast. So, this episode of the After Show podcast is sponsored once again by the one and only Grey Trees Brewery. Now, Grey Trees Brewery are a multi-award winning, that's right, not just one award, not just two, not just three, but multi-award winning craft brewery based in Aberystwyth, Aberdeen in the South Wales Valleys. Now, Grey Trees Brewery supply cask and bottle beers right across the UK, and as if that isn't great enough, they also have their very own unique bar situated in Aberdeen Town Centre, the National Tap. Now, the National Tap is open Wednesdays to Sundays and is actually open now that the COVID restrictions have been lifted. So why not go check them out? That's the National Tap in Aberdeen Town Centre. They have a huge range there of craft beers, ciders, classy spirits, and a great selection of wine and cocktails as well, in case, that's what you fancy. You can also find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or you can just visit their online shop at greytreesbrewery.com. That's greytreesbrewery.com, and all the links will be in the description below. So go check them out, go show them some love, go get a drink there, buy some drinks off their website, and back to the podcast.
Now, Meg, we've only got two things left to talk about, actually. First off, how much do you know about Colstars?
I feel like embarrassingly not enough.
What's your knowledge like? You willing to be tested on it?
I can't say no, can I? Let's be fair.
No. So I was thinking, obviously, this being the first podcast episode, how can we kind of tie the Colstars history in without it just being me reading from a sheet, saying facts and stuff? So I thought, why not? Why don't I just tie it into a bit of a quiz, put you on the spot, see how you do? Make it a bit of a Kahoot. People at home can play along as well. People at home can play along. See if you beat Meg's score. So
easily.
I've got 10 questions for you. They are multiple choice though.
Have I got to write these down?
No, you can go. I'll give you the answer. Give your answer, then I'll give the correct one if you get it wrong. So I've got 10 questions for you, 4 choices.
4 choices.
4 choices, yeah.
That makes it harder.
So question number 1, in which year was the company originally established? Is it A, 1936, B, 1937, C, 1938, or D, 1939?
Because I think I know this because my grandma was originally in Colstars back then.
Right.
But it was obviously a different name.
It was.
1939.
Hang on, I've just completely lost my my phone. I've got my notes up for this. My Google Drive. 19. Where you go with 1939?
Yeah.
Let's keep the suspense. 1939. Yeah, you got the first one right. That's one. Hang on. Let's take this interactive. I'll use my whiteboard to keep your score. I'll get it in. I just drew my hand as well. Question number 2. What was the original name of Colstars? So obviously we've gone through a few names. We're known as Colstars now, but there's been a few different names over the year. These have come from Derek as well. This question in particular, I double checked it with him. So what was the original name of Colstars? Was it A, the Trecunnan Welfare Amateur Dramatic Society? Is it B, the Coliseum Amateur Dramatics Welfare Society? Is it C, the Coliseum Welfare Operatic Society? Or is it D, the Trecunnan Welfare Operatic Society? So you've got Trecunnan, Coliseum, Dramatics, Operatic.
The Coliseum Operatic.
So Trecunnan Welfare Amateur Dramatic Society, Coliseum Amateur Dramatics Welfare Society, the Coliseum Welfare Operatic Society.
That one.
Or Trecunnan Welfare Operatic Society. So you're going with the Coliseum. C, the Coliseum Welfare. It's actually D.
No.
It's actually Trecunnan Welfare Operatic Society. Yeah. Derek said after doing a bit of research, because obviously the anniversary's coming up, he found out there was Trecunnan Welfare.
That's so annoying.
One from 2. November of 1946, the Coliseum Operatic Society staged their first production. What show did they stage?
The Vagabond King. Oh, sorry, I just said the answer and you haven't even given me the... I'm so sorry.
Hey, no, that's fine. I mean, you know the answer.
I'm so sorry.
You're on the ball.
I know.
You've got it right. I mean, you've got 2 out of 3 so far.
I've actually got a photo of my grandma in that cast. I should have brought it. I didn't think.
I'll send it to me. I'll chuck it in. I'll chuck it in the edit.
Yeah, I'll have to get my grand. I think it might be my house still. I can't remember, but yes, I've definitely got it.
Yeah, but obviously, even though they established in 1939 because of the outbreak of World War II, things got postponed a bit. So again, like a bit like this year, but a lot longer.
Just a bit different.
Just a little bit different.
I'm so sorry. Who would you give me?
I give up.
Do apologise.
Question number 4. In which year did Colstars stage its first annual pantomime? I'll give you a bonus point, if you can say what panto it was.
Come off it, will you?
So was it 1985, 1986, 1987, or 1988?
I'm going to go for 87.
Oh, 1 year off.
Am I wrong?
88.
Oh!
Well, see if you can guess or show me what panto is it?
Right. Something that...
And don't forget from earlier, they done Cinderella in 1990.
I'm going to go for Dick Whittington.
What was that?
Dick Whittington.
Snow White.
I'm not good at this game.
This one might be a little bit harsh, to be fair, this next one.
A little bit harsh? Yeah, I've had 2 right.
You're doing fine. You're doing good.
Oh.
How many times have Colstars and Colstars Youth, because I know Colstars Youth done Oklahoma once, and they... How many times have Colstars and Colstars Youth, not even worse, stage a Rodgers and Hammerstein production?
That's impossible. That is impossible.
Is it A, 16, B, 17, C, 18, or D, 19?
Oh, the answers are so close together. That's just a stab in the dark. I want people 17.
Actually, it's 17. It is 17.
That was just a guess.
They've done 5 productions of Oklahoma, 4 of Carousel, 2 of South Pacific, 2 Sound of Music, and 4 King and I's.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because we've definitely done Carousel. Well, I've definitely done Carousel, Oklahoma, and King and I.
Yeah.
So I was just going off of how many I've done, which is 3. So it doesn't make any sense.
3. That's good. You've got. Hang on, I didn't give you your second point.
I got 3.
Using the whiteboard, I'm using it. Which one is this? Oh. To date, how many musicals have Colstars done? Musicals.
I am playing this game. I'm really not playing this game.
I've done this a bit more fair. Is it A, 98, B, 102, C, 105, or D, 111? So there is a bit of a gap there.
If I've done 2 a year, and I've been there for 14 years.
But I will say one thing: they haven't always done two shows a year.
Yeah, but that's what I've done. I've done 38.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go for the one above the 91. Was that 105 or 102?
102. There was 102, then 105.
Oh, 102 or 105.
102.
I'll go 105, I think.
It's 102.
No.
102.
Half a point 102. For kind of deciding between the 2.
Now this one you should get right. In which year was Colstars Youth set up?
2005,
2006, 2007, 2008.
I know that one.
2007, it is.
Yay, good point.
No, you were 4. Number 9. Bit of a harsh one, to be fair again. So since 1946, Colstars, or whatever the name was at the time, have done at least 1 production a year, except for 1 year where there was no production. What year was this production? Was it 1994, 1973, 1959, or 1981?
Oh, you could have been a year older.
I know, but I was like, yeah.
There was a flood, I think. Was it a flood? Sorry, can you read me the years again?
Good song by Take That was The Flood. I remember that. 1994, 1973, 1959, or 1981.
I'll go for 1973. Is that what you said? 73?
73, I think it was. 73? Yeah, it was 73, I said. 1981. 81. Of course so. Now this one, I think you might be able to get. Last one question. Question number 10. So out of these 4, which pantomime has Colstars done only the once? So pantomime. Is it A, Peter Pan, B, Sleeping Beauty, C, Beauty and the Beast, or D, Puss in Boots?
God, again! Right. So, since I've been there...
And I will say that Peter Pan the musical doesn't count as panto either, because obviously that was the musical.
We've done Sleeping Beauty once. I'm going to go Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. Peter Pan. 1992, the ones. They've just done it the once.
I'm really ashamed of myself.
That's a panto I think I'd love to do, to be fair. I think it'd be a good one. If we get you back on, I think I'll have to do a Colstars Youth one, because obviously you've been there from day one.
That's more fair.
I think we'll do a Colstars Youth one. Yeah. Obviously, show number 1, you do a bit of the short straw there.
That's so bad. I got 4.
Hey, you've said not like a Top Gear where they have like the really long board with all the names.
But I'm gonna be the bottom, Ieuan, and everyone's just gonna go above me.
Well, I mean, if you've done the quiz at home, let us know what marks you got. Maybe don't let Meg know what mark you got, but let me know.
I'll cry.
Message us on Facebook, Twitter at Colstars, Instagram AfterShowPod. Yeah. Now, Meg, last thing to ask you. what is your favourite finale song?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. I'm going to go for Spread the Love.
For Sister Act, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good on that. Oh, that's a nice message as well to finish on that.
Spread the love,
Spread
guys.
the love. Spread the love around. I always remember the spread it at the end, and there was like 15 different spread it's going on at one time. You're like, which spread it am I in?
I know, no. I think it's a really it's a fun song, uplifting, good message.
Yeah.
Just all in all a good song.
But yeah, that's that's us done. That's episode 1 done. That's
Finito.
I say flown. We've been doing this for about 2 hours, Meg. That's
wow.
mental. That's great. I was a bit worried we'd be like half an hour done. So we've got,
with talkers like us, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, to be fair, we were in a good place there, weren't we?
Yeah.
But is there anything you want to plug first before?
Glorious Bakes, Meg's Bougie Lounge.
Meg's Bougie Lounge. When are you open back up now?
Monday. Opening back up, so the 12th of April.
There you go.
Yeah, so fingers crossed I can open for longer than 2 months this time.
Fingers crossed for you, yeah. But thank you very much for joining me for the first episode, Meg. I've had a blast, not gonna lie.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for having me. I've had a lot of fun.
No problem. But yeah, again, don't forget to follow our Twitter at Colstars, 2 capital C's OLSTARS. Instagram's After Show Pod. Facebook is the After Show Podcast with Colstars. We'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the podcast streaming platforms, and the After Show Podcast with Colstars. Same on YouTube. And the one thing I will say, if you have any ideas for a segment, then do get in touch. We will be interested in hearing what you guys want to hear about. Anything theatre-based in general. It doesn't just have to be musical theatre. But yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like the video on YouTube, do all that jazz, subscribe, all that. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Thumbs up, the bell as well, so you get notifications coming through when we post our shows. But yeah, thanks for listening. This is show done. Number 1 done. Take it off. And yeah, we'll see you soon with show number 2. Thank you very much. No star. Good night. Thanks, Meg.
No problem.